God in the Bible calls him Jehovah Rapha, God that healeth. I heard that a handful of years ago, and it stuck with me. It really permeated my mind, that word. I was like, Jehovah Rapha. And the way that it rolled out, it made me realize, I got the feeling a stronger connection to what God actually is, and He healed, how He heals and things.
Yeah.
But anyway, to preface this, about a year and a couple, 3 months ago, I had a bad stroke, and it was rough, and it kind of put me down for the count for a while. But this past week, Tuesday, I was at work, and about 1:30 or so, hadn't been at work very long, and about 1:30, there was a point in the day there where I had to just stop. I felt so ill. I was lightheaded, and I couldn't keep my balance, and I didn't know what had happened, and I didn't know if it was, former relation to the stroke or what have you, but I knew I couldn't go any further, so I just stopped and told the next manager near me that I couldn't do anymore and I needed somebody to help me. Or they asked me if I needed help, and I said, please. Well, they carried me to the lobby and sat me down, and I told them I wanted some water, and I asked them to call Stacy and come get me and bring me home. And my daughter was there with me, working with me at the time. And, well, we got home, and I was in such discomfort and pain, I went straight to the bed. I hurt really bad in my chest that day. And the only thing we could think to do at that time was to just pray over me and to get me in bed. So, in the bed I went. Well, the next day, about lunchtime or so, I didn't get out of bed much those 3 days, but that next day of the incident, I was able to get up at least once or twice, and Stace thought it was important that she check my blood pressure regularly. That's why I mentioned the stroke, because my blood pressure was affected terribly with it. I mean, I had bouts of it where, since my stroke, my blood pressure hangs around in the 200 plus range. I mean, this is daily life. It just never comes down. Sometimes it'll come down in the 180s, 190s. And, we were kind of rejoicing about that, And but anyway, Stace checked my blood pressure the day after I got real sick at work. She checked it, and she checked it again. And usually when we check it, we'll check it in a series of threes. And, well, she checked it, wrote it down, checked it again, wrote it down, checked it, wrote it down. My blood pressure had been, that day, my blood pressure was at normal levels.
Praise the Lord.
It had not been that way since my stroke. So, praise God, these last several days, my blood pressure is lower than it has been in over a year now. And I feel great. Only for all the prayers and family in God. That's the only. That's where that strength comes from.
Amen.
And without all your all's prayers, I could have been out there still sick with terrible blood pressure, if not, not alive, But I just want to thank you all for all the prayers and support. And